Good morning. Thank you so much for everyone for being here today. I request you to, come back on your cameras. I'm Dr. Shauri Kutappa, and I'll be your moderator for this debate. At Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, we aspire to join hands with institutions, parents, and guardians to provide value-based education and mold the character of the younger generation through a system of wholesome learning. Amrita's culture of education helps to inculcate in our students the right ethos to be rooted in the values of Dharma, which is righteousness, Karuna, which is compassion, and Shraddha, which is mindfulness. We believe that Amrita Oval can demonstrate and aid in learning important skills that can be transferred to any aspect of our lives, thereby falling in line with the vision of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, which is education for life and education not just for living. With the Amrita Oval, we hope to provide experiences that are conducive to life-changing cognitive and presentational skills. The Amrita Oval aims to help audiences and learners to see the power of deploying rational, seasoned arguments and compelling evidence in action. It sets an example of ways to elucidate our standpoint by utilizing rhetorical eloquence. Via Amrita Oval, we also aim to demonstrate the skills of researching, organizing, and presenting information in a compelling fashion. Other skills and areas that we hope that Amrita Oval will assist to demonstrate to learners are improving rigorous higher order critical thinking skills, enhancing the ability to structure and organize thoughts, gaining broad, multifaceted knowledge outside the learner's normal academic subjects, providing an engaging and active learner-centered activity, and enhancing learners' analytical research and note-taking skills. Uh, I also thought I'd take you through the norms for today's debate. Uh, the motion, as we all know, the motion for today's debate is mobile phones for students. Is it a boon or a bane? The sequence will be as per the schedule document which has been shared. Timing, speakers must have their content arranged so as to use up all the time allotted. The moderator will inform the speakers 30 seconds before the time is to end. Speakers should then come to a coherent end quickly, but they must make sure that they include all of the relevant arguments in their speech. At the end of the time, the moderator will ask the speakers to stop. The moderator, that is myself, will be the presiding judge and sole interpreter of the debating rules, opens the debates, keeps order, and ensures that debate is conducted according to the rules, shall also share or give procedural guidance if needed, will be responsible for notifying speakers when their time is up. Next, points of information. After a speech, speakers from the side currently not debating may offer points of information. Points of information introduce relevant information or directly refute what the speaker has just said. The speaker may accept or reject the points of information. Points of information should be no longer than 30 seconds. Other general rules: no expression shall be accepted which is offensive, personal, or defamatory in nature. The moderator may call to order any person using such expressions. When worded as a proposition of policy, the topic requires the affirmative to support some specified action by particular individual or group. The affirmative has the right to make any reasonable definition of each of the terms of the proposition. If the negative challenges the reasonableness of a definition by the affirmative, the judge must accept the definition of the team that shows better grounds for its interpretation of the term. No revision of position of a speaker is permitted during the debate. He who asserts must prove. In order to establish an assertion, The speaker must support it with enough evidence and logic to convince an intelligent but previously uninformed person that it is more reasonable to believe the assertion than to disbelieve it. Facts must be accurate, visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use if desired. In the questioning period, the questioner may ask any fair, clear question that has a direct bearing on the debate. The questioner may use the period to build up any part of his or her own case, or to tear down any part of the opposition's case, or to ascertain facts, such as the opposition's position on a certain issue that can be used later in the debate. The debate must base its decisions entirely on the material presented without regard for other material which may be presented but is not submitted. Any gains made outside of the established procedure is disallowed. I also invite participants to have a pen and notepad by their side if needed, in case they wish to jot down points of other speakers. With that, we'll move directly into our session for today. The first round involves speakers introducing themselves. Speakers may share a short profile of themselves, their likes and dislikes. They may state their stand on the topic and why they have chosen their particular stand. Each speaker has 2 minutes. Uh, a A caveat or a caution here to the speakers is they are not expected to go into their speech yet. This is only a phase where they share their profiles and introduce themselves. I invite speaker number 1 to begin. Dr. Manjari Tejpal, your 2 minutes are yours now.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone here. First of all, I'll take the opportunity to thank Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham for arranging this kind of debate where ideas can be exchanged, and of course we can support, and it is going to enhance and widen our horizon of our viewpoint on the inclusion of ICT in education. I'm basically a doctorate of management, and I have a career experience of almost 24 years, which include my experience in corporate, university teaching, and school teaching and school leadership. At present, I'm working with GEMS Public School as principal for last 6 years. It's part of GEMS Education Group, and presently this particular school is in Patiala. When it comes to likes and dislikes, I think I enjoy being with students. That's one thing I have developed a liking for in last so many years, because that's one area which helps you to to get distress. All your stress goes away the moment you are with students, and you always have this feeling of a fulfilling feeling that you are doing something beneficial for the society. At least you are doing your bit. That's one feeling which gives me a lot of satisfaction when I'm with students. And when it comes to dislike, I think
Last 30 seconds.
over
Please
the
continue.
years, dislike has also become relative. At one point in time, you don't like something, and the other point in time, you realize that this is quite beneficial. So in particularly, I do not have any dislikes, though I'm really scared, or maybe you can say dislike lizards and cockroaches. That's the only thing I can think of in terms of dislike. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Uh, I invite speaker number 2, which is Dr. Suchitra. Your 2 minutes. Please go ahead. Unmute.
Speaker.
You'll have to unmute yourself.
So once again, namaskar and good morning to each one of you from Delhi. Dr. Suchitra Bhattacharya, as said, a long stay in the education department. I'm an educator since 21 years. Coming from the army background, traveled all across India. and had the privilege of working in different states, talking about the different policies. If I would talk about my thought process, yes, as of now, I am into number of panel discussions as speakers in different platforms and national and international forums. I'm a CBSE master trainer, and my love is for the students, and especially my research was on adolescents. I enjoy being with them because I see the dream and the huge opportunity that the children realize that's there in front of them. And as an educator, I just encourage my colleagues to be with them because I want the teenage children to question rather than go by stereotype answers. And I think that is what Amrita Vidyapeeth is also believing in. It was a beautiful, I would say, video which showed what a split horror of opportunities you are giving. So thank you so much for inviting us. And I think this used to be a very general topic before, and now once again it has come up because of the pandemic, the usage. If I talk of my likes, as I mentioned already, I love being with students. I am a vocalist and I love Indian music, listening to it, singing also. If I talk of dislike, yes, I dislike anyone who's not disciplined. Punctuality is what I lay emphasis on. I would say once again, thank you so much for giving such a wonderful opportunity to discuss on such issues, because as educators, I think the more we discuss, the more we learn. And that's what, thank you so much.
2 minutes, thank you. I now invite speaker number 3, Ms. Bhavana Rai. Your 2 minutes, please go ahead.
Namaskar, everyone. Thank you so much, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, that they have given us such a beautiful platform wherein we can discuss the things which has, as recently Madam has discussed, uses of mobile phones. As far as my introduction is concerned, as with my husband, I traveled Kashmir to Kanyakumari, some different renowned institutions of India, right from DPS to Kendriya Vidyalayas to Army Public School. From last 5 years, I am in Bharati Vidyapeeth as a principal. This is one of the beautiful organizations that I've came across, where the mission is social transformation through dynamic education. As far as my likes are concerned, as an educator leader, I believe in the children. I love talking to the people. I believe inspiring to the people. I have been experienced in various tables, performers. I have been a part of so many discussions. And recently, as we are educator leaders, so awards and all by the grace of God that we all are receiving. As far as my dislike is concerned, I believe in continuous growth. And while in teaching and learning process, I came across of the people, those who sometimes surrender or sometimes they don't like challenges. So I completely like the people, those who are continuously motivating and want to give them a chance and a challenge to overcome and become a winner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, I think we are now all comfortable to move into round 2. In this next round, the flow is as follows. We'll be following the same order. Speaker number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each speaker has his or her 10 minutes in which they can present their main points, their main content of the speech. When there are 30 seconds left, I'll give you a small indication, and you'll be expected to wrap up in the next 30 seconds. Speaker 1 will go first, followed by speaker 2. Post that, we'll have a small crossfire where speaker number 3 and 4 can share their points of interest, if any. Post that, speaker number 3 and then speaker number 4 will share their thoughts. And after that, there'll be a final crossfire. However, I realize, Dr. Sundar, you're yet to introduce yourself. Before we begin round 2, I invite Dr. Sundar to please share your introduction. Your 2 minutes are yours.
Happy morning. It's been a pleasure being here in this platform. Patience is a key for success. Though my turn was not called, I would be very patiently waiting for that to happen. I didn't want to interrupt the flow. Being in this educational sector for more than 22 years, myself a doctorate in language, and I've done my MBA and seen through a different phase of career path and still on the learning path right now. I always very eager to be on the progress of learning along with the student. As all the speakers said, students' journey always keeps us energetic and young. So I always feel proud to be part of an educational institution, and I'm heading a school called GTA Vidya Mandir, a group of GTGI institution, which is more than 15 years old right now, and we caretake a CBSE stream of curriculum. So we're very proud to be in association in Chennai, and thanks to Amrita for connecting us from different parts of places today, so we could able to share and use the knowledge what we gained. Talking about my likes, I am a constant traveler. I do trekking a lot. I connect myself to the nature, and I ensure that I always keep myself refreshing so that I can able to take up all the responsibilities, whatever comes in handling and molding the younger generations. Talking about my dislikes, I am a very positive person. If any person come across to me and say that this is not possible, this is very difficult to overcome, so we will able to take it up in that right spirit, and I make sure that those person also mindset is changed in a positive note. So thank you once again for this platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think with that, we are ready for the next round. I invite speaker number 1, Dr. Manjari Tejpal, to share your thoughts and points. Before we start with your 10 minutes, other speakers may, if you wish, you can go off camera, as you may need to, make notes, etc. Dr. Manjari, your 10 minutes are yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Before I begin, I would start with these lines that teaching is an act of optimism, and we as education leaders need to develop a conducive environment for our students and teachers and other stakeholders like parents, so that regular connectivity and support for each other is always available. So that is why I have opted for this particular motion, that mobile phones have come out as a boon for students in present times. This maybe 2 years or 3 years back, if you would have asked me, I would have given you all together a different opinion. I myself was not very very strong supporter of using mobiles. But then, the pandemic happened, and it changed the complete scenario. It brought a lot of transformation, and I very strongly believe that learning education for life is about learning, uh, unlearning, and relearning. So this pandemic brought us into a scenario where we had to be connected with children. The lockdown, the closure of schools, all of us all of us closed in our homes, in the walls of our homes, how to be connected, how to impart education. And it is because of the mobiles that basically education, everything was quarantined, but education was not quarantined because of mobile connectivity. That is why I think that using mobiles is quite helpful for children. In our schools and as leaders, whenever we discuss, even CBSE, other bodies, when they talk of, we talk of differentiation in classroom. But actually, it is very difficult to have differentiation in classroom with 30 to 40 students and one single teacher. But mobiles, connectivity through mobiles taught us that differentiation can be easily achieved. You can give different kind of tasks to students, and each student can learn at his or her own pace. This gives a chance for a student not to compete with others, but to compete with oneself. Students, maybe a teacher has introduced a topic. A student can listen to the topic at that point, and later on also, student can have time and can look at the or listen to the same concept and can use different ways to apply the concept, because of this availability of mobile in the hand of each student. Number of companies have come up, have created apps and portals which can be downloaded for free by students, and they can use the resources available there. Everything is available on your fingertip. Earlier, when I was a student and before pandemic, for the books, there were e-books available. But if I had to go, we will look for libraries, we will look for bookstores. But everything is now available on a finger touch. You can download books, you can take subscription of various libraries, and the world has become a limit to a student. Student can actually look into various courses, not only in India but abroad, because online courses are available. All this has become possible only because mobiles were handed over to children. As per statistics, if I say that it is said that in the statistics says that in 2021, in one quarter, 470 million educational apps were downloaded from Apple. This use and availability of mobile has also given students a chance to serve, to explore, to understand more and better. Even there are organizations which are providing tutorials, and not there are a number of other than Byju's also, there are a number of local organizations which are providing tutorials. They pooled in the resources of teachers and they are available. Maybe a concept you has not been understood, you take the subscription at a very, very nominal cost from there, and you if you really want to have concept clarity, you go to one teacher, and if you think that you are unable to understand there also, you have option to go to some other teacher also. So this kind of facilities for students with the minimum cost was not available ever before. And mobile introduction of mobiles has made this inclusion of ICT in education quite easy and simple. Children, there are number of apps which do not need a laptop or desktop. You can download those apps and make your PowerPoint presentations. Teachers also were able to use the various resources and made teaching quite engaging for students and interesting as well. Otherwise, what happens in classroom, whatever we try of collaborative learning, number of collaborative tasks are given, but that with that the time foundation was there. But with mobile, this situation has altogether changed. Now teachers can make children join the groups in the evening after schools as well. And during pandemic, the whole day was there. Though classes were taken up as per the guidelines of MHRD, but then teacher had different times. They could join or call students for tutorials. If they wanted to give some remedial sessions to students, even that time and platform was available. We were connected, and we still are connected because of mobiles. I think the mobiles have widened the horizon for students, for learning, for understanding, and it has even given the various scopes to students to opt as a career later on. If we talk of higher education, it is not just school education, but if we talk of higher education, the scenario prevails in the similar manner. Students have taken up various courses sitting in India from various universities worldwide. And all this was done, all this was possible only because we were connected through mobiles. So I think I very strongly feel that mobiles have given us a way so to be connected, to learn more, to learn at our own pace, to learn things in different ways. And with this, I would like to close it here. I'll like other speakers to take up from there.
Ma'am, thank you so much. You had 3 more minutes. I believe you're foregoing the time.
All right, then maybe I can add on few more things.
Please go ahead.
See, whenever I feel with students, whenever a critically analytical task is to be assigned, these tasks are very easily and aptly assigned by teachers on mobiles, and students are using various apps to take up these tasks. We talk of Bloom's taxonomy. We want our children to go from this from the level of understanding to the highest level of creativity. And I have seen that how beautifully these these levels were achieved by the students. Students learn to become independent. We talk that learning is something which is of students part, learning is students part, and students need to become responsible for their own learning. Utility of mobiles, usage of mobile in education has made it easier for us as teachers, educators, and even parents, because now children know the benefits. They have realized how beneficial mobiles are for them when they talk of education, and how mobiles are beneficial in various other tasks. I'll take up only education part over here regarding the mobiles. And in last 2.5 years, as educators, we have also taught children what about the ills of utility of uses of mobile. And children they have started becoming more responsible. When I compare to the students who were with us around 4 years back, those students after the lockdown became very responsible. Kindergarten students, they were able to handle their own classes so well because they had some resource in hand. If we don't give a resource, if we don't give something of utility to a child, how come we can understand, or how come we can come to know that how a child will behave in a particular situation? They are exposed to various things. They know what is good and what is bad. They are able to evaluate. So all these things are giving a positive push to education and helping our children to
Last
grow
30
better,
seconds.
to grow
Please
better, and
continue.
to grow better in terms of education, in terms of their thought process, in terms of understanding, and in terms of taking responsibility of their own learning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I now invite speaker number 2, Dr. Suchitra. Your 10 minutes are yours. Please go ahead.
Namaskar once again. It's a beautiful platform to exchange thoughts. And I think Manjari ma'am has really elaborated all that I would agree to. If I would start with what I have to say is, first, who's a student? I, as a principal with 21 years of experience, I'm also a student. Can you take mobile away from me? Why do we talk of only those who are in school and colleges? If I talk of before pandemic, many a times I would see parents coming to us and saying, as a head of the institution, ma'am, do something. My child is always with a mobile and everything is trouble. He's so troubled that he doesn't study. Even then, it was 2.5 years before, I would say, please don't take or don't think of taking mobile away from them, because they are born with it. We are intruders. Just because we had not used it at our childhood days, we cannot think that it is a negative piece or a negative, you could say, appliance. So that's how I always thought. And that's the reason when this conversation started in the initial days, I said, I'm going to support this movement, because I feel mobile phones are a blessing to the present generation, be it the student, be it the teacher, or anyone else. So let me come to this why, which I said Manjari ma'am has really given such an elaborate explanation. However, I would just like to stress on the fact that it is a lifesaver. Would you disagree to that? My opponents are here. I would definitely love to listen to you if you really disagree to the fact that it is a lifesaver. Why take it away? It's a powerful tool of communication. If you do not agree, I would definitely want to listen to your question and answer for it. Manjari ma'am has really dictated so much about the education part, how it is going to be used. Yes, definitely. I would also lay emphasis on this. But before that, let me go to the lighter part. Only education and students, can we connect only with that? I would not agree to it. I would want a child to have recreation. Mobile phone gives you music. You can store music, you can listen to it. Do you disagree to that? No. Other than that, when a child is supposed to go with the parents, when we travel by road, we see that our children are giving us the roadmap, which is the way to go. Do we still think it's not a blessing? If you think of now the education part, or before that, I would also like to say, as ma'am also said, during the pandemic, when we were all enclosed inside our doors, I think it's the mobile phone that took care of our mental health. As teachers, we did it. And as individual, getting to know that your near and dear ones far away from you are safe every day, I think that kept us motivated. How can then it be not a blessing to us? It ensures the safety and well-being of our children who are far away in the different parts of the world, or maybe our siblings who are not close to us. Then how can we say it's not a blessing? It functions as a computer, it functions as a camera, it functions as a timer, a game console. Then how can we say so? It's a powerful tool for communication, contact family members in times of emergency, and as students surfing the internet. Education is supposed to be global. Surfing the internet, knowing exactly what's going on across, downloading your education, the apps, various apps and the information, understand the concept and strengthen the concept of science, geography, history, and of course, strengthening your mathematical concept. Improve your creativity during the pandemic when we started using it. Frankly speaking, we all were internet savvy, but then we refused to understand that we can have such vast usage. So this lockdown has made us use this. And of course, now we have upgraded ourselves when it comes to technology. We've seen children improving their creativity. We have seen children creating their own apps. We've seen that children coming out with such during pandemic, even the grown-up children of class 9 to 12, we've seen them how they develop their own groups and how they are helping each other. And I think once it has started, now children will definitely not go beyond. We understand that Sanskrit is such a wonderful language. It's a pride of our country. When other countries are using Sanskrit, but in our places, it is not so widely used. And I think that's a mistake that we have done. Let us not make the same mistake, restricting the children on the usage of mobile phones. Because as I said, it is not only a phone, it's a gadget where they get, please let me know if I cross my timing. And so it's a gadget that can be used as an educational tool. It can be used these days, entrepreneurs, even young children are entrepreneurs. It can be used as a business tool. It can be used for marketing. It can be used for advertising, building your network. Other than the income and the entertainment part, it can be really used to increase your vocabulary and expand your knowledge. So no longer is it a device only to talk or just to see the internet and waste our time. Of course, it's going to be a waste if it's not regulated. So here is the role of an educator, maybe a parent or a teacher. We need to teach the children that this is there, give them the power of usage, give them the responsibility and trust them by explaining that this is there available. However, you need to restrain, you need to time up in such a manner that it doesn't affect your eyes, it doesn't affect your ears, because it can be very, very detrimental if it is misused. So once we give them the responsibility, as once again ma'am mentioned, that children become responsible. So that is our job, rather than stopping them from usage of a technology which is just come up and it has so much of plus points. So let us now try to educate our students with responsibility, that yes, we trust you. And of course, let us encourage a parental client to ensure that they also guide the children in such a case, that how much is the right time and when is the right time, because it can be relatable. It can be various for different purposes. It can be for varied from person to person, but let the parents also understand that they need to give them the freedom, because they are born with technology, and that is actually can be used in a very, very powerful manner if regulated, and if, of course, if freedom is given to them. That's all that I have to say. Thank you so much, and I would love to listen to my opponents and counter wherever possible. And if there is any question on one of the points that I have mentioned, I would love to answer them. And other than that, I would also just mention a few points which I've missed, as I said, which is not only used as education, even for us, how many of us now carry camera?
I believe we've lost connectivity. That's okay. While we're waiting for Dr. Suchitra to join us, I'd like to open the house for points of interest. I invite speaker number 3, Dr. Ms. Rai, and speaker number 4, Dr. Sundar. In case you have any points of interest, you may share them now.
Yeah, may I, sir, right now?
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, it was really heartening to see both the speakers spoke on the benefits of the mobiles. As being an educationist, I would like to put forth one question, like how do we handle the health hazard, which is becoming a very big issue of extensive usage of mobiles among the youngsters. Thank you.
Sir, your viewpoint is rightly raised, but as an educator, we need to make our children understand. It is a slow and gradual process. If you remember early when IT industry in India started blooming up, people started coming up various health issues they were facing. It was all orthopedic problems, cervical, lower back problem, then shoulders, arms. But then slowly and gradually, when they were continuously trained, they were updated. Doctor sessions were conducted by the organizations. They learned that what they need to do. In my school, I always ensure whenever there is an online class, after every 20 minutes, it is a mandate and it is compulsory being followed. Child has to take his eyes off the screen, then look at something which is around 20 meters away for 20 seconds, and then you do this Tratakasan. Just that takes a minute. It's okay. And we always tell the student to stand up from the chair, take few steps, come back. And teacher also does the same. So it is helping them. Initially, the problem was there. Then we also asked parents to put a UV screen, this UV screen in front, and or they can arrange for a UV camera. So this also has helped. Initially, parents were talking about this. Sir, every time when new thing is being introduced, health hazards are there, and with health hazards solution are there. I remember when TV was introduced, Doordarshan was this there. We were young and it was called as an idiot box. And now everybody says Doordarshan was better than this OTT. So, this is something which is part of generations growing up, and we have to accept what is inevitable. We have to accept with its pros and cons, finding solution to the cons, so that we can draw the maximum benefit. If you remember, I remember a picture being floated on internet. There was a comparison a few years ago. WHO has put a cross on mobile and was requesting parents to send their children to play out. During pandemic, it was vice versa. They crossed outside and they asked parents, requested parents to keep children inside, keep them engaged with mobiles. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just to bring Dr. Suchitra in, ma'am, we are on points of interest, and Dr. Sundar had just raised a point of interest on how to counter the health hazards, from mobile phones. So Dr. Manjari Tejpal has just addressed that. Would you like to add something on this?
Yeah, I don't know when I went off board, because suddenly I found that I was not getting the movement of others. So that's how, I don't know how much I could project my points. However, to talk about Dr. Shaurya's question, I did mention, which I think because I went off, I was not very audible. I think that is where we as educators play a vital role. Educators, in the sense, I would also consider the parents as educators, because throughout they themselves are also playing a vital role in educating the child. This is where we play a vital role. We have to ensure that children know what is the limitations. I strongly believe that we need to trust this generation. Immense potential is there with the generation. And as I said, my research was also on adolescents. And I really find it so interesting talking to them. The moment you trust them, they become more responsible. So as parents, as teachers, we need to trust. We need to give them the responsibility that this is there, the platform is there, and it is a wonderful platform. However, you should be able to protect your eyes, your ears, because the vibrations are always not good. And therefore, if we tell them, they are the ones who teaches us, frankly speaking, most of the time. As I was mentioning in the end, that mobile phones, we elders, we use only 25% of the facilities that's there in a mobile, whereas they know 100% of usage, varied usage. It is more like a laptop to them, giving any information anytime, and they are able to do anything. So if we educate our students, giving them the limitations that yes, you need to understand what is the hour when you are supposed to be using social media, when you're supposed to be using for education purpose, I think all these can be addressed. That's what I would like to answer.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Rai, any points of interest from you?
With due respect to my both the opponents, their content and knowledge is really awe-striking. But as ma'am, as Dr. Suchitra has just now mentioned, that their potential is so much. Do you think that school children, minimum 8 years to 16 years, do we have that much understanding in the entire India? I'm not talking about Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, the metros, in the villages, or even in the metros also. Do you know that, can you define the fine line, how they can know how much to see and what to see? If they are using 100%, what all things they are searching in those 100%? That should be our cause of concern.
Yes, ma'am.
That is my query.
Right. You are very correct. We don't have a line drawn. We cannot draw a line. Even if you draw a line, will you be able to, will you be confident enough that they are using in the right manner? Children find their way. There is certain, I would say, happiness. Say, for example, if a teacher, just an example, if a teacher is very strict that no children will have tiffin in my class, I think there is a target of those few super intelligent children that we are going to prove that we can have tiffin in that particular teacher's thing. I think that way there's a more, they become more firm in using it in the wrong manner. Of course, that is what I would once again stress on the fact that we need to trust them and we need to educate them. They will go wrong. As a youngster, even we have done so many wrong things. We have also bunked classes. That is definitely not correct. But every time we have to keep trusting and once again tell them that this is not right. Again, they will do wrong. They will have to learn through their through their mistakes. We have to be vigilant. We have to be vigilant as parents and teachers that they do not get an opportunity. At home, I keep telling my students or parents when they come, let us have some hours and let us be monitoring, because if you're hovering on, they are too tech savvy. They will not even make us know, or they will not allow us to know what they are doing. So it is better to allow them, giving them the responsibility again and again and trusting them. When they break, be a little sentimental sometimes, be a little harsh if required at times, but then trust is the only answer. As per my knowledge, I feel as an educator, trust, and we will definitely conquer.
Dr. Manjari, were you wanting to add anything?
Yeah, sir, I think I would like to add here, though, everything, as I earlier also said, that everything has, each coin has two sides and everything has its own ills. But looking only at ills, we cannot forego the good things. So if we do the cost and benefit analysis, when we weigh the benefits mobile is offering to students in comparison to the ills it has, I think we should opt for the positive side, and we have to find ways to manage and conquer these insights for which I think school counseling in school. At one point in time, I believe that parents cannot counsel their children. Children stop listening to them. But then we just have to keep on reiterating the situations and the facts. And very rightly, as stated by Dr. Suchitra, we as kids, whatever opportunities were available with us, we did. We did our wrongs. We bunked. We, as she said, I remember she said that the children generally would ensure to eat tiffin in the teacher's class who is strongly prohibiting a child to do so. I was also one of that gang. I mean, eating tiffin in my English teacher was the most joyous thing. So we also did our good and bad things. We were also inquisitive of certain things which were not appropriate for the age. That inquisitiveness, that curiosity will always remain there. And as educators, as parents, as educators, we need to educate parents also, and we have to keep telling them that what they need to do and how they can tackle a situation. For being proactive is the most important thing. We know that these are the problems we are facing and we will be facing in times to come. We need to talk to children. I think when we were children, when we were growing up, we never talked of good touch and bad touch. But now we are talking about good touch and bad touch to even a small child in kindergarten, in pre-KG, a 2.5, 3-year-old child. We talk about good touch and bad touch. So this is how we'll have to talk about ills of using mobiles also, so that children can be safeguarded and their interests can also be safeguarded.
I wanted to add one sentence. Can I?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I think we need to be also with them. Sometimes let us enjoy the little bit of things which we think is not so right. I mean, as ma'am was saying, using the westernized words these days, we take it so seriously. How can a child use such a word? So let us try to learn and then tell them, no, this may not be used. Maybe we could enjoy a movie which is not, as per me, may not be so clean. So let us be with them as parents and try to tell them that, yes, this was nice. However, I think we can avoid such things, because we have to tell our children, they will have to learn when to say no, no. So being with them, enjoying a little bit their likes and dislikes also solves quite a lot of problems. That's what I thought of mentioning here.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now move on. And I invite speaker number 3, Ms. Bhavana Rai, to share your main points. Ma'am, your 10 minutes. Please go ahead.
See, nowadays, I have chosen a topic which is very difficult. The whole world is going with the mobile. Every now and then the persons are having mobile. And I need to say, it is not that much useful. Like everything in life has a dual nature. Either it is a day or a night, good or bad. If you have roses, you will have thorns also. Sometimes if you have rich people, poor people. If you have good health, you have a bad health also. All things in the universe can be a boon or a bane. To other words, a blessing or a curse. It depends how we look into it. I believe nothing is good or bad. It is, as both the speakers, they have rightly said, it is about the uses. So mobile phone usage is growing at an extremely fast rate. Can you believe that nearby in 22, we are going to cross almost 22 trillion market size for the mobile phone. Nowadays, if we talk about the mobile phones, especially about the smartphones, people have access to a variety of information at the fingertips, no doubt about it. They can, today, we cannot imagine a world or a person or anyone without a mobile. I know. From the children age 9 to even 90 years, they all have mobiles and smartphones. So now today the question is whether it is a boon or a bane, or a blessing or a curse. Before discussing, let me take all of you to a few beautiful data. I know that you may be knowing. In India, 56% of the children in the age group of 8 to 12, I again repeat, 8 to 12 have a mobile phone. Then also 21% of children aged 8 years use a smartphone, whether they are in a rural area, in a town or a metro, but they are. The average age of a child when he or she receives his or first mobile is 12. Means it's really unimaginable a country where economy is growing, inflation rate is so high, but still every child who has attained the age of 12 years, he or she is having a mobile phone. Then let's talk about the teenagers. 51% of the high school students or secondary students carry their mobile phone to school every day. Children under 9 years spend at least 2 hours every day staring at the mobile screen. Sometimes I think all the educators have noticed this. Whenever the people come or parents drop into the schools, and if they are in the cabin or if they are busy with some office work, the kids are there with the mobile. Are all the above facts were good, or is mobile using going to harm our children? Yes, it is. As my fellow Dr. Sundar has rightly told that this is bringing extreme health hazards. Health hazards, not physically, even mental also. If we talk about Corona time, COVID time, that yes, online classes were there, teachers were able to impart the education because of the mobile phones, yes. But that was an emergent medical situation. After 100 years, the entire universe has faced that situation. We cannot compare to that situation to the normal time. If I'm taking a paracetamol when I'm having a fever, so I cannot tell every day I can have 2 paracetamol. It will be like this OTC tablets. That is also a threat to the country. But again, coming to the topic, everyone knows that mobile phones, whether I'm using, you are using, or anyone is using, having some or other threat. The first, let us discuss about the health issues. Mobile phones emit bright blue light, which harms the eye of a children on prolonged exposure. As Dr. Manjari has said that she has mandate in a school that some disciplinary things are there that after every 20 minutes, children take to. But do you think that it is possible in the entire country? Many schools are there where the class strength is 60 or 55 or 45. Teachers are there. Do you think that these kind of the things are possible? And the moreover, the most important, if you go through the recent data, children get addicted to online gaming due to the use of mobile phones. I think from last 2 years, so many health hazards, so many health issues, even deaths also because of these online gamings. Even our honorable court has to intervene about this. Addiction to social media is the aftermath of the mobile phones. The people are so addicted to mobile that they are waiting. How many likes, how many dislikes, how many shares, how many everything. I remember just before 1 month or 2 months, I was discussing with my friend. There was a advertisement कि हमारे ज़माने में तो हम face to face connect होते थे, but अभी Facebook पे connect होते हैं. So that is the people. Even the people are there in the family. They are not talking between, but they are in the family groups. They are sharing good morning, good afternoon, good night messages, giving instructions. In some way, it can help out. But do you think that we are losing the human touch, the emotional segment, where the multinational companies are talking about emotional health? At that time, we are going away from the family. Now, children become couch potatoes as they climb to the mobile phones and lose the opportunity to exercise and remaining fit. They just ask earlier, as the children were when we were young, we used to ask, can I go out for playing? Now the children are asking 10 minutes more, 10 minutes more. Can I play? Like this. Children might be exposed to undesirable content online, and it is difficult to monitor 24/7. I personally feel, being a mother, being a sister, being a teacher, being an educator, being a female, that I cannot monitor 24/7. No one. I don't feel that any one of us can monitor when we have given this mobile, and all the time a child is only entertaining himself, getting educated from mobile. It is also not at all reliable. Now, as our fellow educators, with due respect, they have spoken that we need to trust. Yes, we need to trust, and we are trusting them. But as a mother, always trust, love unconditionally. But sometimes she needs to check also. Now the question comes, do we able to check those points? Everything is best when used in moderation, and this is the case with mobile phones. Parents and teachers must not for ban, but regulate the use of mobile phones at home and the school. But it is sometimes really beyond our limits. How can we use this? Now I know that mobile phones are expanding the knowledge. They are good source of entertainment, but on the contrary, they are bringing health hazards, emotional issues, and many other things. I think I have spoken a lot about how the mobile phones are bringing hazards. Dr. Shaurya, is it fine from my side?
Ma'am, you still have 2.5 minutes. Would you like to continue?
Okay. I can. And one thing more that mobile phone has brought. I am having an Apple, you are having a Redmi. The other one is having a Xiaomi. These type of things are also there, which are bringing financial disparity. Everyone wanted to have an Apple, whether the father or mother or the parents are having that buying capacity, affordability or not, whether they are good in studies or not, whether they are getting some life skill values or not, but they want to have the most expensive mobile phones with them. So these are the things by which we can say that mobile phones are how much useful. Now, if we teach a student physically in the class, suppose a teacher is teaching 45 students in a class, or 40 students, or 30 or 20, whatever it is. I personally feel that personal touch, personal connection, taking a proper round, understanding what the children are knowing is much better than the conducting classes through online. And as we talk about the apps and all, how many apps? Every second day a new app has come. And I personally believe that introduction of the ICT is only possible because of a child can use mobile phones. Mobile phones are good if we are using it for the connectivity and other issues. But if we are using it for addiction, for only for social media, then I don't think that it is that much use. That's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Can I?
Hold on, ma'am. You've 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Before we move into the points of interest, I would like to invite Dr. Sundar as well, speaker number 4. Sir, your 10 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Happy morning once again. After listening to 3 speakers, my task is even more becoming tougher now to justify my take on the motion of why mobile phone is to be a bane. With the advent of advanced technology and growing use of mobiles and other gadgets, considerably harming the younger generation will be my first statement. How it is, students are developing a strong connection with their mobile phones, which is leading to the massive loss in their concentration and time spent in their studies. We as an educationist and the parents and teachers are usually facing problems in combating the distractions of students. So we are finding it very difficult how to bring them to the normal thought process and the concentration level, which they could able to channelize towards learning. They are now getting a lot of distraction mode into it. Nowadays, the life has been very busy, and after post-pandemic, I believe, yes, rightly said by the speaker, pandemic time, the mobile was as a great help. But now, when we are moving on to the regular mode, we are trying to bring the students into the learning parameters, very difficult. The biggest answer for that is that the students search entertainment by using their mobiles. Either it can be on the mode of gaming, either it can be a mode of channelizing themselves to different source, texting, moving on to Instagram or Facebook. Of course, there are very positive aspects are there where the students are learning many things into it. But when I'm seeing the percentage of the level of getting more distraction is comparatively more rather than the learning parameters which is being done by few segment of students elsewhere. So the students find a reason of where do we go and find an entertainment source. So either they pretend themselves for using a smartphone for learning, and there lies the problem where the distraction gets off. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not against the technological development. I am simply concerned about the excessive usage of smartphones and its aftermath on us and future. How are we going to handle the younger generation? How are we going to mold them? How many educators will be required for nurturing these people to go on to the right path? how we can be confident enough to show them this is the right path, you can go ahead and do it, and how quickly they are going to adapt to our notion, how quickly they are going to listen our words, that lies the bigger question. If you may argue also that smartphones make us more sociable, society connected tool is our mobile phones. Here I have to disagree with that. With few of us seldom reconnect with our friends, but mostly watch reels or they download illegal web series or smartphones. So they are not able to get into the learning parameters alone. In 2011, IARC, that is International Agency of Research on Cancer, classified mobile phones radiation possibly for carcinogenic symptoms of producing cancer in our system also. So don't we think like we are exposing it at a very younger age, and we are able to put our younger generation in the greatest risk? So scientists have reported adverse health effects of using mobile phones, including changes in brain activity, reaction times, and sleep patterns. So we all know that how important these are all for our younger generation. Otherwise, leading on to a very positive growth will be very difficult in our younger generation, which is going to happen now. It's not only on the aspect of education scenario. The cell phone is damaging the family and social life of the people. We expose more the students to this platform, the chances of being disoriented from the family and social life is also becoming a danger cause of this. There's a famous advertisement or a connection note which we can ever say. Mobile company says that they are connecting people. They are bringing people to close together. Now it's time to think. Are you connected with your relatives on mobile phones? Are you connected to your loved ones than before? When we as an adult, we fail to be getting more onto our relatives and connectives, how do you expect the younger ones who are battling from grade 5 or age 5 to age 15 to be getting more connected to only to education and not get deviated onto the other source? This is hampering the physical and mental growth of the teenagers. Mobile phone is taking away the freedom of our life, the family time or the concentration level, what the child has to be done at home as well as at school is getting distracted, which is because of this particular device in our hand. Not only that, it adds onto the stress level also. So the moment when I go in to tell this is all or the good habits or the good process in which you have to lead your life, automatically the students counter argue onto it because they are exposed onto the different sources and the learning parameters, which is not only teaching them the bad notions, but is not guiding them onto which is right and which is bad. We have to justify, draw a borderline to know which is wrong and which is right. To balance that line, it's going to be very, very difficult from our end. It also had on to the lack of humanity and lack of moral values of people. So these days, when we have, as an younger generation, we are able to see that younger generations are lacking in values and humanity touch. Be able to add on to the cause of the mobile causes and the usage in which has been transformation is happening. And they are moving on to social isolation mode. These students are detaching themselves. They want to get connected with the mobile phones all the time in the pretext of learning, in the pretext of having education on a greater cause. They are disorienting themselves from their friends, from their family members, and they are not being able to know what cause is going to be onto their life. To know about the fact of the mobile radiation frequency, is something which comes from the microwave range of 900 to 1800 megahertz through the antenna, which is going to cause them a very serious headache and the migraine issue also at this younger age. From time to time, many children have a false feeling that their cell phones vibrating in the pockets when it is not actually there in the pocket itself. This situation is called the phantom pocket vibration syndrome. How many of you can able to explain this huge technical or a medical terminology to them to understand the impact of what could happen onto it? And of course, as an educationists, we are finding up another challenge, a cyberbullying. So how many of us, of our students, we as a principal, we come across this situation that one particular child has been targeted on the cyber media and then able to have cyber bullying also, where the students have committed by going on committed suicide also. So the data leakage is also again a major threat, where the students keep on using their own resources or the data into it, and they are able to lose on to their health issues also. When I'm talking about health issues, it was disheartening to see today's Hindu paper in Chennai's edition. I don't know how many of you would have seen the Chennai's edition, because we are all connected different places. I just quickly read the heading alone. Increased gadget use causing keratosis, where our Dr. Manjari ma'am also rightly pointed out that keratosis is one symptom which can able to affect the eye vision. A 12-year boy from Bangalore underwent a surgery yesterday in Chennai hospital because of excess usage of mobile phones. Of course, during pandemic, you could have been on online classes, but people couldn't able to disorient it from that, and which they could able to have an impact, whereas both the visions might be a losing factor. Academic performance had a big impact. Students not able to concentrate on that, which I've already mentioned. And academic malpractice, though we talked about pandemic and we able to say that this is what the best we can able to do it, but we could see a lot of malpractice also done. I talked about the medical issues, and of course the key to our backbone is our spine. Most of the time we tend to bend down, we tend to put our posture in a wrong position, and we're able to see that the posture where the students are able to connect it to the mobiles or to the gadgets is creating a lot of neck and back muscles problem also. And they have the immunity status, where the immunity is also going down with a lot of going to expose to the sun and to go and play also.
Last 30 seconds, please continue.
Yes, as per our JCDR, Journal of Clinic and Diagnostic Research, the research says that most of the adult are maybe they're able to balance it and go as per the mobile usage, but as a student's perspective, it will take time in educate them and making use of the effective usage of mobiles at students level. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, we come to the second round of points of interest. Speaker number 1 and 2, you may raise your points of interest, if any. Please go ahead. Dr. Manjari, yes.
Yeah. Sir, I think all these points have been discussed. I just want to add one thing here. Yes, excessive use. And I think excessive use of anything is bad. When we talk of diet, we are talking about balanced diet. It is not that protein is good, so you keep on eating protein. It will increase your uric acid. You say that carbohydrates are needed for the appropriate energy, and sugar intake is good for small children who are going to school for the appropriate functioning of brain. You cannot keep on eating sugar. So balanced use of everything is important. And I don't say that mobile should be used in school, in classes. It's not that important, not necessary. But yes, mobile has its benefits and children can use, and we should not deprive them of the benefits and utility of mobiles. Of course, as elders, as educators, as parents, as society, we need to control it. Sir, I don't know, but I am of that age when Doordarshan was introduced. And I remember that 6 o'clock, Doordarshan would start with that music and that Golavo. I cannot, give that music right now, but you might remember.
Satyam Shivam Sundaram.
Not Satyam Shiv, वो लिखा आता था, but पीछे टू करके
बहुत अच्छा सा म्यूजिक होता था. Right.
I was 3 years old when television was bought by my parents. We were living in a place, हर किसी के घर में television नहीं था. But 6 बजे drawing room बदल जाता था. We would have chairs placed like cinema halls. Then we would have mats on the floor for children and chairs for the adults. All neighborhood, before even the beginning of that music and circle, they would be sitting there. And people would move only when Doordarshan would say Namaskar. When the last thing, Namaskar, Krishi Darshan, anything, everybody would sit and watch. Slowly everybody started restraining it, that Krishi Darshan is of no use to us, so let's watch Chitrahar, let's watch news. And it started becoming control. So same stands true with the mobile. Presently, a new magic wand has been given to students where they feel the world is in their hands, and the moment they get a chance, they pounce on it and they start using it. But as adults in school, at home, we need to control the hours to be used. If playing is good for health, but it doesn't mean that once a child has come back from school, he's allowed to play for all next 6 to 7 hours. Child plays for some time, comes back, yeah, the schedule has to be set. So this schedule, we need to introduce usage of mobile as well in this schedule. And as you said about surfing different sites, yes, that will happen. That will happen. You can have this fireballs or something. Slowly and gradually, I think parents will have to come out with certain things. Recently I was watching some video on metaverse. Believe you me, I was little scared. I said, oh my god, this is what is going to happen in times to come. I really wish that it should not happen when I'm alive. I was that scared. But that is inevitable. I'll have to adjust. If it comes during my lifetime, I'll have to adjust with it. Everyone talks about the ills of usage of car. We all shared such lovely pictures and videos during pandemic. We talked about the ozone layer getting healed. We talked of Ganga getting cleaned. But again, when things came to normal, all of us are using vehicles at the same rate. Life cannot stop, and we have to take life as it is coming, finding ways where and how we can minimize the hazards of it. So that stands true with the usage of mobile also. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Point adequately made. Speakers who are against, if they have anything to raise, you are most welcome.
Yeah, may I?
Yes, please.
First, let me talk about Bhavana ma'am's few questions. Before I go into it, it's really, I'm enjoying it because with our age and our role, I think always we try to understand the other person's point. Here, I'm getting an opportunity like a schoolboy and a schoolgirl to counter and with no malice, but I'm really enjoying it.
Really? No.
Bhavana ma'am, I would just come to the example that you gave with paracetamol.
Yeah,
Once again, I think Manjari ma'am is beautifully explained. Doctors advise us. So let us be the doctors for the mobile phones. Let us parents and teachers be a doctor. Trying to tell them, it's now your fever is gone, no more paracetamol. So your time is over, no more phones on a regular basis. Secondly, you had said, how much can we monitor? Can we give up then? Should we give up? No. Many children do not get 90%. There are 40 percentile. We don't give up. We are at it. Therefore, we should be at it. If you talk of reception area, like for example, small little steps, you, me, if we can change even 40% of, or maybe 20% of the thought process, I think we're going to do a great job. In my school, strictly prohibited mobile at the gate. And this is one of the reasons when parents, they oppose, they say, how can that be? We'll have long waiting hours. We try and say, we'll try and see waiting hours are less. However, just get an opportunity to be away from your office. Come for a child, let us think of the child, let us think of the progress. So small little steps, I think as per requirement, we can go about it. As Sundar sir was saying, I think ma'am also mentioned about the car. We talk of fast food, definitely. When we talk of sickness, when we talk of the ailments, the hearing, we definitely have to take care and therefore it should be monitored. When we talk of pollution, I think our ACs, constant AC at our offices, at our homes, the pollution by cars being used so much. In one house, I think there are 2 to 3 cars because both the husband wives are working and the child also needs to go, and therefore we have increased. So if we can't monitor those, even that is going to be hazardous. Similarly, I think it's high time that we make our children responsible about pollution, and it has happened. I can actually visualize, I'm sure many of you who opposed it for the discussion, you will also have to agree that the generation now is so conscious about all the drawbacks and the hazards of pollution, which includes the eye and the hearing problems because of the air. I think we can see definitely we can see better days. Because I feel as an adult, I have misused many things, and therefore this is what I've given to my children outside a polluted air. I can see as an educator that the consciousness that the children have these days, definitely things will improve when it comes to pollution. So why not trust them again and make them responsible enough to make them understand that what they have got is, if it's bad, why not improve on it so that the next generation comes up. That's the ultimatum I feel we can do, educating our student. Let us create good parents, let us create good teachers, let us create responsible citizens. So balance everything and go ahead. That's all that we can do.
Thank you, ma'am. Adequately made. I invite Dr. Sundar and Ms. Rai, if you have your counters to the points of interest that have been raised.
First of all, it is not about the counters. It is about the opinions. It is about the things, how we perceive. And see, opinions are always relative. And as first, I would like to take up the point as Dr. Manjari has beautifully stated about the Doordarshan era. I think we both are the buddies only. Means it may be so sisters.
Me
So
too,
I
me
also
too,
have
ma'am.
that
I
kind of
said me
feeling.
too, belong to that
Yeah,
era.
ma'am.
No
You, Dr.
younger,
Suchitra,
maybe
you
more.
also. Yes. I coming to your point also. But I'm bringing you people, I'm trying to bring with due respect to both of you, to all of us. Like at that time, as you rightly mentioned, we all neighbors, everyone was sitting around the chair and gluing towards the TV monitor, but still we all are talking. Even sometimes chai, pakoras, these things are also served. We were like everything mesmerizing atmosphere. But now, if you even after a tiring day, tell me the truth, all of you just hold your breath and really the truth. Apart from this discussion, if you come to your home, I feel 90% of the parents are having the same site, husband with a mobile, son with another mobile, daughter with another mobile, and sometimes after you also. So, do you think this kind of the not communication is there? And because of this, what I feel just now before 2 months, my son was doing a research on mental health, and it was in a collaboration with Niti Aayog. So, at the utter shock of mind, from last 2 years, the people are feeling isolation. Means they are feeling that there is nobody to hold on, nobody to listen, nobody to share, because they are glued to mobiles only, because they are just talking to them. There is no one to say. As just now, whatever we are discussing, why this discussion is there? Because what we all are feeling, who Dr. Suchitra, Dr. Manjari, Sundarajan ji, or other people, or the people who are watching, they are okay with it or not. If they are okay, that really this is the, I know the trust factor is extremely important in any of the relation, especially with a teacher and a student, mother and a children. It's extremely important. But how much? As ma'am has rightly said, we need to supervise. So what I feel as an educator, as a mother, that we need to create an awareness. As you people have rightly said, that responsibility. So how the responsibility will come? First, the child should understand the responsibility. Okay, mobile is important. Yes, I understand that. AC also, you have said everything. Whatever scientific inventions are there, everything is having its pros and cons. The other day, I was reading a journal by Dr. Sameer Parekh, who is the psychiatrist director of Fortis Hospital. What he has said, anything which is available, accessible, new, fast, and related to information and technology tends to attract a lot of people. And the same is with the mobile phone. But today, with due respect to our hosts also, I would like to say it is not about the students who are using the mobile. It is the entire family that are using the mobile, and then they also follow. So I'm also okay. I feel that yes, uses of mobile phone to a certain extent is okay, but more than 2 hours, it's really bringing health hazards. And as everything is on a fast way, earlier kids were getting so confident. Even we also tell our children, जब हम तुम्हारी एज में थे तो ये भी करते थे. क्यों? Because nowadays we become as a parents also, we are so insecure. Beta, when you land on an airport, please give me a call. If you reach, message me. Earlier our parents used to send us, and we after reaching we write a letter. So we have that confidence. I feel this is my personal individual opinion that I became so confident, ready to challenge, because my mother exposed me to the entire rest of the world. Okay, go and fight. But now I feel because of this, mobile is also helping us to make them dependent. This is my view. Open to you all, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sundar, anything that you would like to
Yes, sir. Yeah.
please
So
go
everybody is talking about environment and CO2 emission. I just had one fact which we couldn't able to present it during my presentation. So thanks for giving the opportunity now. We are not here to defend the usage of smartphones or the regular phones. So we are able to see how we can draw a line, how we can create an awareness among the educators, among the students to do it. Since we talk about environment, the statistics states that the excess usage of smartphones increase the carbon footprint, so which is exploiting the environment. It is better than we can make use the older version of the phones and make use of the smartphones in limited version, so that the CO2 emissions which comes out due to the servers and the data centers across the world is not only polluting and creating a lot of disruption in the environment. So we are talking about how we can able to reduce the health hazards of the students for the society. So this platform might be a right channel. We 4 are here, we 5 are here, so that we may be able to work towards to create a self-awareness among us. First, as a change, I should be the change. I should live up to the expectation. As ma'am said, schools don't provide anything, mobiles at school, at the gate premises, the mobiles have been left. So let us also not take the mobile phones to the classrooms. As a teacher, I always tell my teachers to avoid that first, so that we lead as an example. So the entire platform, what we've been sharing for more than 1 hour, is to make sure that the awareness is being created at the young age, so that we set as an example, we lead as an example, and take up forward, so that all the boons and banes of whatever we have been arguing right now or sharing opinions will all be successful if we draw a line. That line is very, very important. If we breach that line, that's where the
100%
as
right.
it has been done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just a moment's pause to see if there are any hands raised for any other points of interest. If none, then we'll move to the next phase.
एक और counter करूं सुंदर सर का.
Go ahead, ma'am. Final counter.
Sir, no malice. Yeah, connectivity. I think this ये ज़माना में grandchildren talking to their grandparents would not have happened अगर मोबाइल नहीं होता. Connectivity के कहाँ हम सोच रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहा है. It actually depends on how we think. I remember when we were small, we could only see our grandparents once in a while when we would come home. And look at this now, sitting in states, sitting in any part of the country, grandparents are talking on a regular basis. What a solace to those old people who are left all alone in the country and had their sons and children abroad. I think we, at the end of the day, whether we are for the motion or against the motion, we have to understand progressiveness has to be a thought process, but definitely regulated, which each of us at the end of the conversation, everywhere we have mentioned that regulated usage. That is what I think we need to play a vital role in ensuring this. So no, with all fors and against, I think we all will, at the end of the day, we all agree to this.
Dr. Manjari, please go ahead.
Sir, again, I'll like to add something here, and I also say that it is not for and against. It is, we are just having a discussion, and maybe we can come out with a solution to the present scenario, because there are certain things which cannot be stopped. It has to come. So when we talked about, I think Bhavana ma'am was talking about, family interaction. In my family, there are 3 persons. We all have mobile, and when my in-laws are around 5 persons, so we have 4 mobiles. But when I reach home, I leave my mobile on table. I sit, I have my lunch. We have our day-to-day discussion, what happened, what you did, and all those things. And in the evening, when my son comes, we ask him also to keep his mobile, so that for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever, we'll sit together, have a cup of tea or milk. We can do it without mobile, and that's how we do it. And at that time, until there's some urgency, we generally don't pick up phone. If I receive a phone from my office, I just send a message that I'll call you back. So that's how we manage, that's how we are regulating the usage of mobile and entry of mobile during our family time. And again, regarding this, this is live example. My son and his friends planned to go to Goa, and they thought that they had to take their flight from New Delhi. So they were thinking, they decided to take the car, but we were concerned कि car park कहाँ करोगे? You are going for week 10 days. How are you going to manage? Car कैसे park होगी? He is on a gaming platform. He's doing his BTech. He's on gaming platform. He has friends. So one of the friends was one of that group member is from Mumbai. One is sitting at Bangalore. One is sitting at some other place. So one of those guys said ki my aunt is there. I think maybe the person was bureaucrat, her husband. So he said, my aunt and uncle are there. You go and park your vehicle there. So for week, the vehicle was parked at their place. And the other guy, he keeps guiding him. He was in second year. He was guiding him continuously because he's in IT company. What all courses he should opt for during his BTech. He's doing BTech IT. So that's how we still are connected. We might not be connected face to face. Pandemic happened, we were connected, and rightly said by Dr. Suchitra that grandparents are very well connected. मैं साल में एक बार दो बार अपने दादा दादी नाना नानी से मिलती थी, या वो मेरे पास हमारे पास आते थे. बट अब तो इट इज डेली. मन है चलो फैमिली कॉल कर ली, यू आर ऑन मोबाइल, आपने एक यू अरेंज्ड WhatsApp video call and the whole family is there chit chatting. And to be very frank, it is at times it is like chit chatting sitting together at home, because I'm doing my kitchen work and I'm chit chatting with my cousins and other people also simultaneously. So I think appropriately used, we still can have, with regulated use, we can still go hand in hand with mobiles. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think the sharing of points of interest has not only served as a rebuttal platform, I believe it has also served as our third round, where each speaker has shared their summary points as well. And with your permission, of course, if everyone seems fit, we will do away with the third round, where each speaker has to share their summary, because I believe the summaries have already been shared adequately. Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
If
definitely.
there's
You've
anyone,
expressed enough.
if there's anyone who feels that they would like to further summarize, you're most welcome. Just raise your hands or indicate, and you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. As rightly said, all speakers summarized. We keep on summarizing at every speech, and the opinion has been shared, well taken. At only one point is to have a holistic thought process on the point what we are discussing today. So let us put on to an action plan so that the action has been executed on the points what have been shared by our delegates here. Thank you.
You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, I think I'll bring this to a closure. I'd, on behalf of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, I would really like to thank all of you for sharing your 90 minutes here with us today. It was a real pleasure. Couple of points. One, we have tried to share both documents of how this, how the debate was conducted, with an aim that it might, serve as a tool for those willing to conduct such, debates in their institutions as well. So please do feel free. One of the aims of Amrita Oval is to try to propagate debate as a form of learning, not just learning on content that is being debated, but also as a form of learning where we articulate our thoughts clearly, use time well, and make sure all the statements that we are sharing are backed with adequate research. So I hope that also goes along along with the session that we've had. Once again, on behalf of Amritama and the management at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, I thank you all for your participation here today. And lastly, I do hope this serves as a platform for all of us to stay in touch and share our best practices from respective corners of the country, so that that itself takes us forward. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a
It
good
was
day,
a beautiful
everyone.
learning process. And thank you so much that you have connected us through beautiful educators, Dr. Manjari, Dr. Suchitra, and J Sundar sir. Thank you so much for everyone.
It was insightful and pleasure interacting with you all. Thank you so much.